up, everyone? All right, well, today's going to be a red day recap. It's the third red day recap out of the last 4 trading days, and I'm down 30,000 bucks. Again, another $30,000 red day. I was down 37,000 on Friday, 36,000 on Monday. I was up 5,000 yesterday, and I'm down 30,000 today. So over the last 4 days, I've lost now close to $100,000. I'm not moving in the right direction here. These have been 4 pretty disappointing days after having $150,000 in profit last Wednesday and Thursday. So versus those 2 green days of $150,000 in profit, I've given back, 2/3 of it. But what I'm gonna do during this recap is I'm gonna take a look at where I sit on the month. And when I look at where I sit on the month, it's gonna put this into perspective a little bit, and I'm gonna start kind of thinking about my game plan of how to finish the month with 2 days left, and how to go into the new month of August, which is right around the corner, which is also for me typically a slower month, but that was not true last year. And this year and last year have both been very unusual in terms of just the crazy level of volatility in the market. So I don't know what August 2021 holds for us. But we will find out soon enough, and I will have to start the month, at 0, just like every other month. Start at 0, focus on trying to build a cushion. What I don't want to do is I don't want to go into the month thinking still about making back losses from the previous month. Once a month closes, that's it, it's done. That month is gone. So it's over. So a new month starts in August, and I'll start at 0. And the first goal will be building a little bit of a cushion, which means at the beginning of the month, I'll start a little more conservatively with smaller size. Now, yes, it's true that sometimes, if on the last day of one month, and let's just say it's like a Tuesday, and then the first day of the new month is a Wednesday, it's hard to separate, okay, well, I just finished the month, and, but it's Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday was super hot, and then Wednesday will probably be hot as well. So sometimes you do start a new month kind of swinging. But here, July is going to end. Last trading day will be Friday, and then we've got the weekend, and sort of we start a new week and a new month at the same time. So in this instance, it's going to make sense to start from 0, brand new week, brand new month. Think about max loss, what the rules are, quick base hits, trying to get green, starting to build a cushion. First 10,000, 20,000. Then once I get a cushion up to 30, 40, 50,000 and start to work towards 100, I'll start to feel a little bit more confident, be able to increase share size. It's not always a good idea to press the reset button really hard each month. There's no reason to trade conservatively at the beginning of the month if you finished really, really strong the last month and the market is really hot. But I'm finishing a little weak here for the month of July. And so I got to go into August a little more conservatively, testing the water a little bit, because what I don't want to do is start day 1 red 35,000 on the month of August. That's what I don't want to do. I'd much rather finish day 1 up 2,000 bucks, and day 3 4,000 bucks, and day 3 or whatever. Just slow gains, rather than starting big and then having a big drawdown at the beginning of the month. So starting with confidence is really important. You should be thinking about that as well as you're thinking about the month ahead, what you can do to put yourself in the driver's seat of the month, because when you make a mistake on day 1, it can sometimes set the tone for the rest of the month. So no pressure, but it's important to be mindful about how you're gonna start the new month. And in case you didn't know, trading is risky. And even seasoned traders like myself can fall into the emotional traps of the market of overtrading poor quality setups, FOMO, thinking every stock is going to make a big move, and buying tops and selling and getting stopped out on drops. And that's what's happened the last few days for me. I've had sort of big expectations after some killer days on Neuro, 2 really big green days, $150,000. And unfortunately, I've given back a lot of the profit from those days on stocks that just didn't live up to the expectation that I had. So I put my money where my mouth is. I step up, I trade big, and today I didn't deliver. So I'll do the recap, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you here first thing tomorrow morning. All right, I'll see you then. All right, everyone. So, well, I'm sitting here and it's another red day. I am in a slump. Pretty big slump, I guess, I would say. And I think I'm going to start this video, this recap, by looking at my metrics on the month. I think it's time I kind of take a peek and see where I sit. We've got 2 days left in the month, Thursday and Friday. And I kind of want to just see where I sit on the month. So, so I'm down 26,000 in my main account and 4,000 in my retirement. I was green in my retirement on one trade, up 1,000, and then I lost 5,600 on Neuro. So it puts me down 30 on the day. I did not trade past max loss. As soon as I crossed over minus 20,000, I was done, and that was on a large trade on Neuro right here. So I started the day first with an $11,000 loss on ASXC. Someone mentioned in the room that it had breaking news, and I saw it popping up. I jumped in it, and I was so eager to take a trade. Look at that spike and drop. Lost $11,000 there. And I didn't even realize it was a 200 million share float when I got in. I wouldn't have gotten in if I'd realized that, but I jumped in quickly and aggressively. It was right at 9 a.m., right when the news came out. So a little, algo news pop and drop. We see that from time to time, and that got me. So red, first trade. Second trade, GRVI. GRVI, I was up 10,000 bucks on it at the open right here on a red to green move. I bought 30,000 shares for the break of volume weighted average price right here at about 645. It ripped up to 677, and I sold all but 700 shares, booking about 9,000 in profit. Put me down only 2,000 on the day. Not bad, right? And then I added back 40,000 shares through this consolidation right here. A bounce down right here, adding, looking for the rip back through 750. What do you do? What do you do with that? What are you supposed to do with that? I stopped out at 683, 40,000 shares. Lost, whatever it was, 15,000. Not bad considering the position size. I halted going down at 640, resumed lower. For a little while, it looked like maybe it was going to try to get back over the VWAP, but then it rejected again. So I think that we have a little bit of a problem here, which is I'm trading with too much size. So let's just see. Let's take a look. Wow. That's a big number. That's a big number. I didn't expect to see the number that big. So I just looked for the first time at how much I'm up for the month of July. I was up at my high, $388,000. Wow. Let's look at the calendar. 40, 50, 84, 21, minus 15, 47, 21, 40, 36, 9, 16, 2 back-to-back red days. Big green day, 50,000, 100,000, 56 trades and 59 trades. And then 36,000 red on Friday, 37,000 red on Monday. I made 5,000 yesterday and I'm down 30,000 today. So between these 2 days, I'm down another 25,000. So where's that put me on the month right now? Gross profit on the month, 314 minus the 25 from today and yesterday. Average is going to be 290. $290,000. All things considered, that is still a fantastic month. I was at 314 for July. I was at 376 for June. So I broke it. Broke June. Was at 388 or 383, but have given back 100,000 off the top on those red days. Okay, so that's the big picture. 2.65 gross profit. We know net profit's going to be a little lower, but that's fine. So I can see a problem here. My biggest loser is 52,000. My biggest winner is 28,000. Average winner is 2,100. Average loser is 3,300. Today's not going to help that. These average losers are too big. Had some pretty bad afternoon trades this month. 50,000, 26,000. Not today though. That wasn't the problem today. Not sure that's much of an issue. So, how do I tighten up the losers? How can I make those losers a little bit smaller? So I'm going to be right around here, just under 300, down about 100,000 when you add the 25,000. Yeah, so down about 100. It's a pretty big drawdown. I think that's going to be the biggest drawdown I've had in a little while. Of course, all things relative. This is where I sit on the year. Bit of a really funny pattern to start the year. Went red on the year by 100+ thousand. Big green, gave back almost half of it, and then started to rally. Things got better for me from sort of February after that loss, my recovery, and then continued there. So in this time, I did have a little bit of a drawdown there in April. That was right here. Lost about 100 grand. Started to recover, lost a little, started to recover more. Lost about 72,000 in June, was down about 75,000 here in July, but we'll tap that 100K mark after today. I guess that seems, based on kind of where I've been at, acceptable. Would have preferred not to have had the loss today. So, let's see, back this up. So let's look at today a little bit more closely. You know what? I think today is a really, what's really interesting is that this is, what I did today was really similar to what I did on Friday with, I think it was XBIO, and what I did on Monday, and I can't remember what the name of the stock was, but if I had held the 30,000 share position from 640, I could have made $30,000 or closer to 20, 25, but instead I sold it quick. And then I added back an even bigger position too high and stopped out. And that's what happened on Friday. I was green on XBIO, and then I gave it back on a big rejection, kind of like this. And that's what happened on Monday on that one SG, whatever it was. I was up nicely on it, and then was it SGRP? I can't remember. But whatever it was on Monday, I went red on that one. It was green, and then I went red. So I think that my problem right now, over trading a little bit, being a little too aggressive. You know, it's funny because I want to try not to lose sight of the fact that I was up $100,000 last Thursday. You know, that was a killer green day. Now, unfortunately, as of right now, I've given back basically everything I made in that day. But, yeah, it was right here, that rejection, right there. So maybe I'm, for whatever reason, right now, I don't seem to be anticipating those rejections very well. I'm not really expecting them. That was against a double top, kind of the same as what we had at 340. XBIO from Friday, I don't remember exactly what the trade was, but was it up here? Couldn't break through that level on that one either. had some nice trades, nice profit, and then gave it back up here for the break of 75. I tried to go big size. I think it was like 40 or 50,000 shares. Of course, then you look at Neuro, which I lost on today. I'll show you that trade in a second. But we look at this last Thursday, and this thing was this Thursday pre-market? I think it was. Look at that. From 27 to 33, pullback up to 35. Now it dropped at the open, but you had some nicer action there. So the fact is, when the market is hot, when we have a stock like Neuro that goes up from 10 to 40, I seem to be able to crush it. I can do really well. The smaller moves, I'm struggling with a little bit right now. Not that GRVI move was tiny, but relatively it was smaller. These ones I'm not doing as well on. So I think the problem is that I'm taking big size. I'm looking for 50 cents, 75 cents, $1 a share. It goes up, 20 cents, 30 cents. And then that's it. We're not seeing the same level of momentum that we saw last week on Neuro. Of course, it's not realistic to see moves like Neuro every single day. And yet, that's kind of what we saw for a lot of last year. And we've seen it for a good amount of this year too. We've seen a lot of big moves on a pretty regular basis. And I think it's probably gotten me and maybe many others into this kind of mindset of being aggressive. But then you have days like today where it's, and a little bit last week where it's just so slow. So on Neuro, I bought this pullback on it right here. Right here, I got this pullback. And then I added right here, 10,000 shares, 22. Stopped out as it came back down, and that was the end of my day. I just thought it was going to keep going. Daily chart was looking for 24.47. Set that big target. I stepped up to the plate. I put my money where my mouth is. I step up to the plate, and well, I got smoked again today. So that's discouraging to have, $100,000 of profit and then give it all back in 3 days. One awesome day and then 3 bad days. I guess maybe that feels better than 3 small green days and 1 huge red day. If I'm going to look at the glass half full, I would feel worse about having 3 $30,000 days and one $90,000 day. It's nice to be able to have one really solid day, know that the potential of one really good day when we have a stock that's really hot can, produce that kind of profit. But, losing $25,000, $30,000, it's a lot of money to lose. And right now, being up $25,000, $30,000 a day over the last 3-4 days, that would have been another $120,000, $100,000. I wish I had the presence of mind to take my foot off the throttle. Instead, I just, spun around the track a couple more times and, blew out all my tires, and now I'm running on rims, throwing out sparks, and I'm still trying to finish the race. I'm still trying to win the race. Now I'm going to blow the engine. I'm going to go flying off the side of the track and land upside down in a pond. So I have to be careful not to spin out too much more. This is bad enough. It can always get worse. Don't underestimate the market. It can always get worse. You can always make a bad situation worse when it comes to trading. So if we look at the glass as being half full, or we look at the month of July, and since I was up about almost 400,000, the glass is still about 75% full for the month. Yeah, some water splashed out the top of the cup, being a little too aggressive, but I'm still holding ground on the month, even after today. So I know that I step up to the plate. I know that I trade aggressively, and I know that when the market is hot, it pays really well. I wish that I was better at being able to recognize whether or not the market was truly hot. I think sometimes I size up too aggressively, too early. And on Neuro, for instance, this one's kind of funny because I sized up most aggressively here once it was confirming, but then it just reversed. So that one I kind of waited to size up on. I wasn't super early on it. GRVI, I kind of waited to size up on that until the resumption from the halt, and then I was looking for the breakthrough 740. So on both of those, I actually waited to size up. I wouldn't say either of those was sizing up too early necessarily, unless you would say that it should have broken through like yesterday's or the pre-market high, and I shouldn't have sized up big until it was like at 850 or 9, which is maybe a more critical daily level. But then by that point, it's already up so much, that seems like not the right place to be sizing up big. So maybe it's not that I'm sizing too much too early. Maybe it's that I'm kind of at the sort of tail end of the move. I'm still holding too much size. The challenge there is that, had this broken 740 and ripped to 765, 775, and $8, all of a sudden, you're looking at a pretty big green day. And what's the difference? What's the indicator that it wasn't going to do that? It's a recent IPO stock, somewhat recent IPO stock, all-time highs at 937. You've got fourth quarter preliminary results. Revenue's $10 million, an increase of 300% versus last year. Right? Net income of 1.5 to 2 million versus a loss of 700,000 in the fourth quarter. This all seems great. Increase of 200%. Why is the stock not up more? You would think it would be up more than it's currently up right now. GRVI, 23%. You would think it would be up more than that on that kind of news. So I thought the news was good. I thought the daily chart was great. It had already made a nice move pre-market. What was the indicator on this? And don't tell me it's, your MACD was starting to curl, or your RSI was already this or that, because you look at parabolic stocks like Neuro, and you'll realize when they're making these big moves, the MACD and the RSI are not the reason these moves are happening, or not the reason they're not happening. They're not. So it's something else. Is it general market sentiment? A little softer right now? Is that why? Just that kind of, we think sometimes about this rising tide that kind of lifts all ships, which is when stocks are hot, we often see that they can just be kind of irrationally hot, super strong. You start to get this FOMO in the market. I think it speaks to the collective trader mentality when you have, like during the GameStop period, you have so many traders out there who are all so gung-ho, so aggressive, everything's going up, everything I buy goes up. They just start getting more and more and more and more aggressive. And that kind of capitulates where you just see bigger and bigger and bigger moves. So it's a bit of that, the mob mentality of the stock market. And it's always sort of had that. And maybe right now that's softening a little bit. We know that Chinese stocks, and there's a lot of Chinese small cap stocks out there, are struggling a little bit because of increased regulation in China. So when we sometimes think about China momentum, we think about CCCL, which is, CHCI. Let's see this one. These are some stocks that in the past have made big moves. CCCR. Is it JRJC? No. JRJC. You sort of have this. There's a number of these Chinese stocks that in the past have made big moves. But was LFIN Chinese? That one I can't remember. All the way down to 13 cents. Yikes. So, and I don't know if that one's actually Chinese or not. That one might not be. LFIN. Just do a quick search on that. No, it says their headquarters are in New Jersey. So I think that one I'm not right on in the where it's located. But in any case, we've definitely seen that some of these Chinese stocks have been pulling back. Small cap stocks across the board, You know, we're in this kind of summer lull. And while we did have a nice move on Neuro, and it was a surprise, I don't think anyone expected this stock to make that big of a move on that day. You know, that was our biggest move sort of the whole month of July, I would say. I'm not sure that that there was anything bigger than that. Let's see. Well, we had Carve. So this is a stock that, you know, this one did put in a pretty big move here from 16 to 38. That was pretty big. Let's see. We had DTSS. That one was put in a pretty big move, but didn't hold super well. We had Bond, BON, a recent IPO, pretty strong. Meds, MEDS, had a couple days there. So there were a couple others. But if we look at them, you know, a lot of them are these kind of big moves and they don't hold up. And that's fine. That's very typical of small caps. They make these big moves. There's a short window where there's a lot of volume, there's a lot of momentum, and then it fades. And these are the days to get aggressive. The last one we had was Neuro. I traded it well. I made $115,000 of profit on it. And then I proceeded to throw away all that profit trading sort of, you know, medium quality momentum stocks and taking trades that were green and then adding back, looking for that home run and getting a strikeout. So I'm done today. I'm not trading past the max loss. It is what it is. I'm done. I think that's certainly the right move. So I'm not going to trade past the max loss. Tomorrow, I think that just like yesterday, it was so important to be green. Tomorrow is very important to be green, since today I had the opportunity for sort of a second green day and sort of rebuilding some momentum after 2 red days on Thursday and Friday, or on Friday and Monday, and now I've just gone deeper in the red. So it's very important tomorrow to stop the bleeding, to be green. That means I'm probably going to have to focus on just 1 or 2 trades. Just get green and shut it down. And maybe things keep going without me, but I'm going to have to take that one trade like I did on GRVI and then not go back. And you know what? Maybe that's just as well right now, to take that one good trade right there, break a VWAP, and then not add back up here. If I hadn't, I'd be up. I'd probably be flat on the day, depending on whether or not I traded Neuro as aggressively as I did following that trade. So I'd be not down 30,000. I could say that at least. So that's probably the game plan for tomorrow. Just try to finish green, get green, and shut it down, and not go back in to a stock higher. Usually, I have no problem getting back in higher. You know, so I had a good entry at 640, 650. I sold it, made $9,000. I got back in at 710, no problem. It's hot. But right now, that add back is really hurting me. So, I just have to be careful on that. And it's tricky because when do you add back? It's obviously, if you're going to add back, it's going to be, well, the stock is strong. It's moving higher. This little pullback at 22, it's not a clean one. That's maybe a problem. The pullback on GRVI at 740, it kind of did a little false breakout there. Not perfect. So maybe it was a little too aggressive on lower quality chart patterns. I kind of thought it didn't matter because the stock was the right stock. It was moving quickly. It was the hot stock. I thought it was what was obvious, but maybe you need to focus on better quality patterns there. I mean, although you could also say the break of VWAP wasn't the best setup either. That was a little risky. So in any case, I have to stop the bleeding. Obviously, I don't want to go red on the month. We only have 2 days left, and I'm up just under 300,000, I guess. So I probably don't have to worry too much about going red on the month. But, if I'm not careful, it could happen. So I've got to be smart in the next 2 days just to try to finish this month and put it in the, kind of put it in the books and be done with it. And then we come into the month of August. And I worry about the month of August because, it doesn't take much to take as you can see, a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 loss, it can happen real quick. So what I'm worried about is, having a couple days like this to start the month, next week, and all of a sudden being down 50, 60, 70,000 on the month and being like, how am I going to recover? The only way I'm going to recover that type of loss on the month is by continuing to trade with big size. But continuing to trade with big size is going to be continue to take big shovels as I continue to dig the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. So big size is what got me into this mess. Big size is the only thing that's going to get me out. Well, maybe, but could also triple the size of the hole. And so the better approach would be to size down. I hate sizing down because I feel like it's admitting defeat, and it then basically seals the deal that I won't make a lot. I won't make a lot if I trade with small size. I mean, if I, let's say 2,500 or 5,000 shares, I'm not going to make $300,000 in 1 month trading with that kind of small size. It's not going to happen. I mean, unless we have something like GameStop, it's not going to happen. So I need to be able to trade with big size. When the market is hot and I trade with big size, I can do really well. But August and September are typically a little slower for me. No, not last year. And I don't know what to set as the right expectation for this year. I never have had, well, how much did I make last July? I was going to say I've never had a July that was this good, but actually last July would have been probably even a little bit better. But previous to last year, I'd never had a July where I made, $300,000. So let's see, 730, 2020, whatever. I don't know if it was how many. So that was 823,000 last year, right? So, and last August, if we look at last August, 8 to 830, that was 483,000. And then last September was hot too, but I don't know. So it's always hard to know. I think the challenge for me is that when I see something starting to move up, I immediately am thinking, this is the next Neuro. This is the next hot stock. It's got a good daily chart. It's got a good catalyst. And I get confused sometimes when we don't see the level of follow through that I'm expecting. I think that's the problem right now. So I'm not really good at sort of tapering my size and aggression to the current market. And I've always struggled with that. And at the end of the day, even despite not being really good at that, obviously I am trading really well this month, and this year I've been trading really well. And so I have no reason to be, I'm really not that upset right now. I'm a little disappointed, as anyone would be if you lost 25% of your month. Whatever the amount, you were up 10,000, you lost 2,500, you feel a little bummed out. If you lose 25% of the profit on the month, you feel a little bummed out. But, you also are grateful for the 75% that you're still holding. You don't want to lose it. So, you look at the glass half full. But, yeah, I don't know. I am wondering whether or not there's a way that I can better judge when something is going to be really bananas like Neuro, and when something is going to be just, kind of blah. Like if I could figure that out, I'd be cracking a big code to the market that no one's probably ever going to crack. The fact of the matter is, even the best traders, my accuracy right now, let's see, I'm sitting at, this was last year. So I think it was 70 something. What was it? 7/1/2021, 7/31/2021. Accuracy 73%. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's good accuracy. It's just the losers are too big. So yeah, the accuracy is pretty good. Just gotta try to have a little more discipline at the end of this week, going into next week, and maybe just a little more skepticism that maybe it's more likely that they'll fail. So be a little more conservative. If they succeed and they go a little without me, I'll get the next one. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here as we come to the end of the month, and locking up my third red day out of the last 4 days. It's a drawdown, but it's not something I haven't gone through before, and I will get to the other side of it. and probably within a week or a couple weeks, this will be water under the bridge and I'll be back to all-time high of the year. So if we looked at my total profit on the year right now, and this is again in gross profit before fees and commissions, but gross profit of 2.65 million. So if I was down 265,000, I'd be down 10% off my all-time highs. If I was down 130,000, I'd be down 5%. So, I'm down about a little less than 5%, 4% off my all-time highs. That's not bad. I can live with that kind of drawdown. It's not bad. I do wish this year I hadn't had some losses that were as big as they were. A couple big losses this year, $243,000 in one trade. I have a negative profit loss ratio this year, and my accuracy has decreased this year. If we look at last year, I think last year, same period of time, my accuracy would have been higher than 66%. Let's just look. Yeah, significantly. So, gotta get that accuracy back up. Maybe I'm over trading a little bit. Yeah, the share size, I am over trading. Trading twice as much volume with a worse profit loss ratio, but both the average winners and the average losers are bigger, but that makes sense because of the bigger size. It's the accuracy. So average daily profit, only marginally higher this year, 19,500 right now. So anyways, it's all interesting stuff to me. Hope it's interesting to you guys. That's my recap, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. I'll see you guys then. I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.